college football single-season rushing record. That was 6 years ago. Tonight, the Eagles return to Bozeman to face a Bobcat team ranked number 4 in the nation in the FCS. History will also be made tonight as Montana State plays their first ever game under the lights at Bobcat Stadium. It's all next on Big Sky Game Day. From Bobcat Stadium in Bozeman, this is Big Sky Game Day. Tonight it's the season opener for Montana State as they take on Division II member Chadron State out of the RMAC Conference. Hi again, everyone. I'm Chris Byers along with my partner Mike Callahan. Glad to be back for another season of Montana State football. And Mike, as we look to tonight's season opener, this is not your normal Division II team. Chadron State has a long line of success. They were 6-5 last year by their standards, not so great. They've played Montana State 3 times, beat them the last time they meet them right here in Bozeman. The other 2 losses were very close.
Yeah, you're right. This is a very solid Division II program with a long winning tradition. They have had a winning season 19 out of the last 20 years.
Well, the Eagles go into tonight's game with a brand new head coach, and they have not one but 2 quarterbacks that saw playing time last year.
Yeah, a little bit unusual in that Chadron has 2 quarterbacks that are very experienced, and they've both actually run this football team. In 2010, it was John McLean who was the starter. When he was hurt early last season, Brandon Gortha came in and took over, did a great job, but it was McLean who won the fall battle this year and will get the start tonight.
Well, regardless of who plays at quarterback, they will have their hands full staring into the teeth of a Montana State defense that returns 8 starters from last year. Let's not talk so much, though, about what Montana State has. Let's talk about what they may be lacking going into the new season, specifically the offensive line where they have just 1 starter returning from last year's team.
Yeah, there has been a ton of talk in the last few weeks about the fact that Montana State is going to start 2 redshirt freshmen on that offensive line. But I think it's important to mention what people aren't talking about. The 2 guys that they'll line up with, senior Sean Sampson at center and Stephen Foster, who'll be moving to right tackle, are both proven all Big Sky performers. I think their experience, together with the coaching of Jason McAdoo, is going to give some success to this group.
Foster moves over from tight end now to the offensive line, and Jason McAdoo, one of the outstanding assistant coaches in not only the Big Sky Conference but in all of FCS football. Certainly he's done a lot of work with a very young and inexperienced offensive line. Now for the keys to the game, let's go down and join the newest member of our broadcast team, Jeff Eberly. Hi, Jeff.
It's football time in Montana, Chris. College football returns to Bobcat Stadium for the first ever night game, and it's all sold out. For your Billings Hotel and Convention Center keys to the game, number 1 for Chadron State, eat clock. You want to limit what Montana State can do offensively, limit their possessions, utilize your big offensive line. Number 2, no turnovers. You cannot give this talented Bobcat football team any gifts, especially in your own territory. And number 3, block out the crowd. This will be the most electric place they play all season long. Focus on your game plan and what the coaches have taught you. For Montana State, number 1, don't take Chadron State lightly. We all know what happened in 2006 after a big win at Colorado. They came back to Bozeman and lost 35-24. So don't take this Eagles team lightly. Number 2, get them in 3rd and long when they're on offense. You want to utilize Brad Daly and Caleb Schreibeis coming out the end and make it a very long day for quarterback John McLean. And number 3, if you're Montana State, most importantly, embrace the night game. This is special, a unique opportunity they have. Embrace it and make the most of it. So those are your Billings Hotel and Convention Center keys to the game. Chadron State and Montana State are up next.
Did you know that a Northwestern Energy specialist can analyze your...
And welcome back to Bobcat Stadium as Montana State takes the field for the first time in this 2012 football season. In an electric atmosphere this evening, expanding north of 20,000 people. It's a packed house here at Bobcat Stadium to watch the Cats take on Chadron State. Coaching comparisons, well, Jay Long, only in his 4th season as a head coach, his first year as coach of the Eagles, he was 15-15 with 3 seasons at Black Hills State College, but his first foray now as the head coach. Rob Ash entering his 29th season. Current conditions, a very balmy 81 degrees. Slight breeze at 8 miles an hour. Under fair, we'll call it partly cloudy skies. A lot of smoke in the Gallatin Valley with the fires going on in Paradise Valley. But all in all, a great night for college football. And Mike, as we said, the first time they've ever played under the lights. Here's the officials for tonight's game. Bruce Palmer, the referee, Lou Tosti, the umpire, and Bob Guerin, the headline judge.
Yeah, Chris, it is a wonderful atmosphere for the first night game here in Bozeman. It is a sea of gold out there as they're having their Gold Rush promotion. And there's a lot of guys in gold that are rushing still from outside the stadium to get here. They have been up here. I came up about 3:30, and there was a good bunch of hardy Bobcat fans already well on their way.
Montana State won the toss, and they have elected to receive and will take the football to start tonight's game. John Ellis and Sean Johnson back deep to receive as the Eagles will kick it away from the 35-yard line. Well, it's the time of year when, you know, the players are sick of beating up each other and going through two-a-days in the long, hot summer. And this is the reward, Mike, when you get to open a college football season.
Yeah, it certainly is, and what a great atmosphere to do it in.
So Chadron State, Josh Bourne will kick it away from the 35. Crowd on their feet. Players from both sides ready to go. And the Eagles will kick. Bourne approaches the ball, lets it fly. And this one will come down to Johnson in the back of the end zone, out of the end zone. And Montana State will have the ball to start the game 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
Well, Chris, actually, that's one of the rule changes that we'll see right off the get-go here was that if the touchback in college football, they move the kick up to the 35, and the touchback now should come out to the 25-yard line.
That's right. There's several changes in the kick return game in college football this year. And there's the fine quarterback for the Bobcats, Denarius McGee, starting his junior season. Leads Montana State onto the field for the first possession of the new season. They'll stay on the ground, and the give straight away up over the 25 to the 30, and a gain of 5 on the play. Let's take a look at Montana State's offensive line, and anchored, of course, by Sean Sampson. He is the lone returner, and 2 redshirt freshmen. Talented group of backs and receivers. T. Salanoa takes over at tight end. Ellis Gilbert and Bleskin, the wideouts, and Cody Kirk gets the start at tailback. Here's McGee now. Looks, fires, and this one is... And yes, they rule it a catch at the 34-yard line. Let's take a look now at the Eagles as they do wave that off. Intended for Tanner Bleskin. Defensive line, Medina Burke and Sandstrom, and they are good and talented. Linebacking core for the Eagles, Cook, McCarthy, and Lindholm. Lindholm, an outstanding talent on that Chadron State defense. Then it's Casey, Etchemendy, Taylor, Hubner, and Haller in the defensive backfield. So the incomplete pass will bring up 3rd and 5, empty backfield for McGee. And a 5-receiver set. Denarius pulls it down, and he's going to be tripped up short of the 30-yard line. And a great job defensively by Chadron State as they force a 3 and out, and a great play there turned in by Kyle McCarthy, the linebacker, in on the stop for the Eagles.
Kyle McCarthy, as you see in there on the screen, that is his first series of college football. He's a redshirt freshman getting the start here at the middle. You can see they do go 5 wide. There's no one to help pick up this blitz. They run a little twist. McCarthy actually gets chopped, but gets up and makes a good solid play on McGee to get a 3 and out for the Chadron Eagles.
Here's Bolton now, will kick it away. Ball lands inside the 30 and goes out of bounds to the 22-yard line, so no return for Chadron State. Bolton handling the place-kicking duties, taking over for Rory Perez, who is serving a 1-game suspension, will be back for week 2. And now the Eagles will have the football for the first time to start the game.
Yeah, we'll see. That's really a great momentum thing when you're a team. You're playing up a division and you're able to come out and get that stop that first series. It's got to kind of put a little pep in your step and give you a little confidence as you move to the offensive side of the football.
As John McClain, the quarterback for Chadron State, operates out of the gun on first down from just inside the 20-yard line. Motion now by the wide receiver. And McLean, little play action here now, flips it out. It's caught over the 20-yard line to the 25, a well-designed play, and Nathan Ross, one of their leading receivers from last year, makes the catch. Here's your Western States offensive line, led by Parker and Ratliff and Lorenzo, and Gilkey, the All-American candidate, in there as well. Hamrose, Reeves, Ross, the wide receiver that just made the catch, and Clinton will be the starting running back out of Cody, Wyoming.
Well, that time it just did a little run fake away. They came back in. It looked like Schreibeis had to make a decision whether he was going to stay with Ross or he was going to try and get some upfield pressure. He did release him, and they got a short gain.
Whoa, nothing doing there as stopped at the line of scrimmage, and a great play there by Jody Owens.
Well, there's your unanimous Big Sky all-conference linebacker, Jody Owens, doing what he does, and that is seeing his read and believing it, getting upfield. He led the team last year with tackles for loss, and you can see he picked up right where he left off, Chris.
No chance for Glenn Clinton on that play. Lost back to the 25, so it's 3rd and 8. Opening series for the Eagles. McLean will operate out of the gun. 3 receivers set to the left. Here's McLean on the draw play, and Clinton is whacked at the 25, well short of the first down. And a nice job turned in by Moe Akiola, the linebacker, will bring up 4th down, and Chadron State will kick it away.
Yeah, they go with a little run fake here. Macchiola making the move from the outside this year into that middle spot. Isn't fooled, comes up on the little draw, stops him. It's going to be 4th and 6, and the Eagles will be forced to punt this one away.
Borum is back to kick, and Sean Johnson standing at his 30-yard line set to receive. So a couple of 3 and outs for both teams as Chadron State set to kick it away. Bourne, this one off the right side, and it's going to take a Montana State bounce up to the 45-yard line. So 11:40 to go in this opening quarter. No score between Chadron State and the Bobcats. Montana State back on the field for their 2nd possession of the game, and they'll start this drive from the 46-yard line.
Well, we're going to see down behind Trey there is Lorenzo Davis, who we haven't seen a year. He was ineligible last year back, and it looks like his first carry, he's going to give up the football. A heads-up play by Denarius to fall on that one, Chris.
Well, Lorenzo Davis, a well-documented story about his situation, was suspended last year academically, gave him the option to stay at Montana State, get his grades up, go back to school. He did just that, and now the reward, he gets to come back and play another season. Second and 12 now from the 44. Here's McGee, looks across the middle, has a man at the 50, and close to a first down to the 45-yard line, and Tanner Bleskin on the receiving end of that. And again, it's stopped there made by Kyle McCarthy, the linebacker for the Eagles.
Boy, Denarius just steps back and really lets that thing fly right up the seam to Bleskin. That ball was delivered with some smoke.
Here's Davis as he's going to be hit in the backfield short of the first down. He'll lose 4. Back to midfield will bring up 4th down, and again the Eagles with a nice defensive play by Kevin Lindholm out of Eads, Colorado. The senior makes a great play, and he's one of their top returning players on the defensive side of the ball.
You watch him, number 42, a 6'2", 220-pound senior, preseason All-American, steps up into the gap, be able to hold on.
So Montana State again 3 and out, forced to kick it away. Trevor Bolton stands back at his 30-yard line, and back to receive is Traylon Taylor for the Eagles. Well, Montana State in the early going at least winning the field position right now, and Bolton's a low liner. This one's going to hit at the 15 and bounce. Oh, now hands on the ball and out of bounds, almost recovered there as the ball was coughed up by Taylor inside the 5. But
yeah, Traylon Taylor really takes a chance on this ball. The ball really kicks when it lands. It takes a hard break to the sideline. Probably not a very good choice here, but that's one guy who's very happy that ball wasn't able to be controlled before it went out of bounds. But nonetheless, MSU will back the Eagles up, and they'll start this drive at their own 3, Chris.
So the Eagles in a big hole here as they come out for their second possession here in this opening quarter from the 3-yard line, first down. And McLean this time will line up under center. And they do indeed stay on the ground. The give is to Dominic Morris, the tailback. Brad Daly in on the stop for the Bobcats. Short gain of the play. Let's give them 2, 2nd and 8. One of the things, Mike, that we looked at with the Chadron State team as we were getting ready for the game, size-wise, they match up pretty good against Montana State.
They do match up, and already you can see this is a lot more depth than we're used to seeing from a Division II program. We've seen 2 tailbacks already, and just here the second possession for Chadron. And that's really indicative that you got a lot of confidence and you really feel good about your ball club, that you're going to get those guys in this early.
Clinton now back in the backfield for the Eagles on second down. And he gets the call up over the 5 to the 10. First down yardage, and Morg out to the 20-yard line. A great play by Glenn Clinton. Finally tripped up by Steve Bethley, the junior safety, but not before he moves the chains, and that's our first down of the evening.
Boy, just a great hole opened up by that Eagle front that time. They came down and really, I'm not sure if it was a center or that guard that really drove and got a lot of movement on number 50, the nose guard for MSU, Craig Ashworth.
So the gain to the 20 and a first down for Chadron State. Out of the shadow of their end zone, and that's big right now. McLean now surveys the defense up under center. And again, this time, play action, rolls right, looking, now fires out here, and this is incomplete at the 34-yard line. Great coverage by Deontay Flowers, and an incomplete pass brings up second down. By the way, the first down run by Glenn Clinton, I know our fans in Cody, Wyoming, gotta be jacked about that. Young man played high school football for the Bronx down there in the basin of Wyoming, and good to see the young man come up to Montana and be productive here in this opening quarter.
Yeah, and he has been productive for the Eagles now for years. Their leading rusher last year, coming into this game, having a good start to the FCS league on this Thursday night.
785 yards on the ground for Clinton last year. Here's a 2nd and 10, 3-receiver set, and that was caught and dropped. Boy, Travis Reeves at the 25, wide open, and just couldn't handle the ball.
Yeah, you can see the Eagles come out. They go 5 wide here. Schreibeis puts a little pressure on, but this ball is delivered where it needs to be. But again, that time it looked like Travis Reed just was worried about getting upfield before he secured the catch, and it's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Eagles.
And again, Chadron State with that spread offense. 3 receivers set to the right, 1 split left, and Clinton in the backfield for McLean. Takes the snap. Now fires a little shovel pass, and McLean gets maybe 5, but well short of the first down. And once again, Jody Owens in on the stop, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, this is a pretty well-conceived play. They're trying to take advantage of the upfield rush by MSU. They pull that thing down, but again, Jody Owens is not fooled. He's there. He's able to limit that to about a 4-yard gain and force the Eagles to punt this one again. Not really much going for either offense so far here today, Chris.
Just 1 first down by both teams, and that was from Chadron State, as Bourne will kick it away just inside his 10-yard line. Johnson standing back at his 35. This time, nice kick. Johnson fields it, will return, dances out to the right. And a little bit of running room up over the 45. Johnson still on his feet, close to midfield, and a first down for Montana State from midfield. Nice return by Sean Johnson. So with 7:26 to go in this opening quarter, no score between the Eagles and the Cats in Bozeman.
Exchange products at Northland Automotive.
Low starting game for both teams offensively. Just 10 for Montana State in 2 possessions. This time, a little toss and catch by Denarius McGee, flips it out there, and a nice gain as John Ellis brings it down.
Well, you can see they're really going with some high percentage throws here. This time, 2 backs in the backfield, both Davis and Kirk. Cody does a nice job of chopping the rush. They get the ball out to Ellis. A nice little, not much risk to that play, throwing that hard out, but a 9-yard gain, bring up that short 2nd down.
Trey Robinson in for the first time. They shift him in motion now. and they'll flip it out to him. Here's Robinson from the 45. Breaks one tackle, now dances forward close to a first down at the 40. Looks like he may have just enough to get it. Good second effort. And finally the stop made by Kevin Lindholm.
Yeah, you see they run Kirk underneath. They come back to Johnson out here, but a nice job. Look at the upfield push. Fights off that block by the Bobcat receiver. Gets enough of him to slow him down. It's the spot is just short of first down yardage.
So Robinson will be just short. Third and less than a yard. They give to Kirk. Met in the backfield, and he will be stopped short. And a great play by Kiefer Burke, the defensive end, crashing in and stopping Cody. And this will be a fourth down.
Well, I'm impressed so far with this defense for the Eagles.
Absolutely.
Watch this aggressive play. Kiefer Burke on the defensive end. They just don't really account for him. They were trying to trap him, but he fought upfield and was able to make a really nice stop that time on Cody Kirk. It's going to bring up another fourth down, but Chris, it looks like they're going to try and move the chains on this one.
Yeah, they'll roll the dice here. 4th and 2 from the 42. Here's McGee. Fires out there, complete to Bleskin. Good safe play. And Tanner makes the catch at the 37-yard line. And that's enough for a first down. Just a real well-executed
If you've
play.
watched them MSU play the past couple of years, you shouldn't be at all surprised on a big third down that they're going to go to Tanner Bleskin on the outside, because he is money. He is so consistent.
This time they'll throw it out there to Gilbert, who makes the catch at the 30-yard line. You get the sense now that this Montana State offense is starting to find its rhythm a little bit. And, of course, they have a new offensive coordinator in Kevin McGiven. He was with the Memphis Tigers the last 2 years. Also previous coaching experience at Utah State and at Weber State. And he has the reputation of putting in a high-octane offense. And they go to work quickly now. They'll stay on the ground this time. And that's going to be very close to a first down, depending on where the spot is.
Well, that was just a straight give to Cody Kirk. Not a lot of room there, but he was able, with great second effort, to, it looks like, I think that they're going to give him enough for this, but it may be, no, it looks like it's going to be just short. But a little extracurricular here, as you see Cody try and drive for this first down. We have a little 44, we got some offensive linemen, we missed it there, but a little stuff, a little extra enthusiasm so far.
Here's Kirk dancing to the outside, has a first down and then some. Cody takes it inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Finally ridden out of bounds by Lane Haller, the corner, but not before Cody picks up a first down for Montana State.
A couple things. Look at Cody makes the decision to bounce this thing outside. Trey Robinson and Ellis are both there to hook this corner. He stops stuff, and Watts blocks on the outside. They're just driving that corner downfield and giving Cody a chance to pick up the first down.
Here's McGee rolling left, now keeps the ball inside the 15, spins to the 10, inside the 10, and they're going to mark him out right at the 8-yard line.
Well, this is why he is so dangerous, Denarius McGee, because not only can he throw the ball and deliver it, but he's also coming off. Last year he rushed for 484 yards, and it just shows just how dangerous he is when he gets out on the corner, because he is the definition of that dual threat.
Well, you get him in open space, and he's so tough to bring down. He can throw the ball, he can run, and demonstrated his running skills there as he broke a tackle. And that's going to be a first down, so it'll be first and goal from the 8-yard line as we wind down inside. 4.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Bobcats knocking on the door. The give is to Kirk. Kirk slams ahead close to the 5-yard line. Pick up of 3, second and goal from the 5. Ridden down by Traylon Taylor, the junior out of California.
Well, probably the best hole of the day. We see 74 Devereaux goes across the formation and kicks out the end on the other side. Opens up enough of a hole for Cody to get a good solid gain. Really the first time that they've got anything opened up front that we've seen today, Chris.
That's right. Trey Robinson now in the backfield for Montana State along with McGee. Here's McGee, looks right, now fires and has Robinson wide open, and a touchdown for Montana State as they score the first points of the 2012 season.
Well, we have seen on that drive the versatility of those two guys, Cody Kirk and Trey Robinson. This time Trey just sneaks out to the side, looks like he's going to take it upfield, but actually turns it up the hash, and there's just nobody home for the Eagles. An easy throw and catch, touchdown Montana State.
And now Bolton on to tack on the extra point. Haluska to hold. Ball down, kick on the way, and this is blocked. So the extra point no good. 3:43 to go opening quarter. Montana State leads over Chadron 6-0.
Planning a stay in Billings.
Finally gets going, and Denarius McGee to Trey Robinson for the first touchdown. Now we saw the blocked extra point by Bolton. Now let's not forget that Jason Cunningham, the all-time leading scorer for Montana State, graduated, and the kicking game sometimes overlooked, but you see it right there. Yeah. Mike, where,
there's
new kicker.
A few things at play. Not only do we have a new kicker, but we've got the short snapper. Nate Bignell is normally not in that place. That is normally manned by Tudal, who is also serving a one-game suspension this week.
Okay, that is going to be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. And the Eagles will go to work, trailing 6-0. Yeah, nice, well-designed play on that touchdown. You talked about it, Mike, as they brought Robinson out of the backfield, and he makes the catch in the touchdown. Drive covered 50 yards, 10 plays, 3:43 off the clock. So good ball control and good job using some clock here as Montana State is on the board to begin the game.
And you mentioned it, Chris. It looked like they found their rhythm a little bit in that drive. We'll see how if they're able to maintain that going forward.
Well, let's see how the Eagles respond now on offenses. And this time, whistle comes in before the play. False start for the Eagles. That'll back them up 5 yards and make it 1st and 15. Yeah, it was. We were talking to the coaches and from both teams about this game.
Offense number 73, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And Jay Long, of course, in his first season with Chadron State, and he didn't realize at the time, after spending 3 years at Black Hills, that not only was he going to have to go on the road, but he was going to have to go play the number 4 ranked team in the nation in front of 20,000 people. He kind of made light of it, but
welcome to the job, Coach. But so far they've handled themselves very well.
3:43 on the game clock.
They went 3:40. Yeah, I think so. I think their size is a definite advantage. We've seen other Division II teams come in here, but I can't remember seeing one as big and physical as this one. And of course, we saw him back in 2006 when Danny Woodhead came in and ran for over 200 yards. So 1st and 15 now from the 20-yard line. And this time they'll stay on the ground, and not much there. And wrapped up by number 47, that's Taylor Dees. Let's go down on the field and join Jeff Eberly. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Chris. Well, back in 2006, this Chadron State team beat Montana State 35-24, and they were led by a running back. You might have heard of him. He plays for the New England Patriots now, Danny Woodhead. He rushed for more than 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he went on to go on to be the NCAA leading rusher with over 2,700 yards. So far, Chadron State is pretty competitive today, Chris.
All right, thank you, Jeff. But no gain on the play as Dees makes the stop, 2nd and 15. And again, flag comes in before the play and another false start. So the Eagles going backwards. The left tackle move for Chadron State.
False start, offense number 73, 2nd down.
That's 2 on there. He is their preseason All-American over there. That's Garrett Gilkey. Just a small fella, Chris, 6'7", 320 pounds.
Wow.
And we commented before the game, he is a solid 320. There's not a bunch of fat on that young man.
2 penalties now for Chadron State. Alan Schmaltz checks in now at wide receiver on 2nd and 20. McLean surveys this Montana State defense, standing at the 10-yard line. Straight drop, flips it out there, tried to set up a screen, but great pressure for Montana State. And again, that was Taylor Dees coming in hard and forced the throw, and there was nothing there. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, watch Taylor Dees, number 47, get upfield here. Taylor making the start today in place of everybody's All-American, Mr. Minter, who is not starting today due to a minor infraction of team rules. We have not seen him yet today, but so far, Taylor Dees making the most of this opportunity.
Incomplete pass will bring up 3rd and 20 now from the 15-yard line. They'll stay on the ground. And a little bit of running room there for Michael Madkins. And Madkins gets a little bit of it back, almost close to the original line of scrimmage to the 24, but that'll bring up 4th down.
Wow, but watch the acceleration on Madkins. They describe him as their scat back, but watch him, boy, that hole is there, and he gets it up and hits it in there in a hurry, and is able to pick up some of the yardage, but that time the penalties just dug him a hole that was a little bit too deep.
Brought down by Caleb Schreibeis will bring up 4th and 11 from the 24. Inside 2 minutes to go, first quarter, clock running. Bobcats lead 6-0. Token pressure, and Borum unloads this one. Drives Johnson back inside the 20, drops the ball, and now just has to fall on it at the 10-yard line. Chadron State, they think they've got it.
Well, what a great kick that time by Bourne. We're not sure who's going to come up with this one, but that thing was a boomer from the sophomore.
Well, it's a scrum on the bottom of the pile. Boy, from the sideline, the Chadron State sideline, and yes, they do. They have got the football at the 10-yard line. Wow, what a turnaround here. Special teams play, and you see Johnson just can't ever get a handle on it.
Well, it just the thing was over his head. He was forced to retreat by the punt. And you're right, Chris. The smart decision there, get down on the football, maintain possession. But it didn't happen. A great play by the Eagles, and now they've got really their first opportunity of this ball game. And on the other side of it, MSU defense, really, let's see how they step up the first time that they have been pressured in this 2012 season.
Big old momentum swing there. Etchemendy fell on it, wrestled it away. So first down at the 10-yard line for the Eagles. First serious threat of the evening for Chadron State. Let's see if they can capitalize. Here's McLean, fires into the back of the end zone, sails high, incomplete. Good coverage back there by Stephen Beffley, the junior out of Chino, California, in single coverage. No chance there, 2nd and goal.
Yeah, they tried to run number 17, Connor Casey, up the seam that time, Chris. But as you said, the coverage was there. There was pressure coming. Really not any threat on that play, but we'll see. Now it looks like they're coming with a little bigger package, at least to start out with on this 2nd and 10.
Chapman Ham is in there at receiver. 2nd down. Here's McLean. They'll stay on the ground. Here's some running room up over the 10 of the 5. And down inside the 5 is Michael Madkins, who does a nice job. Nothing in the middle, just broke it to the outside and takes it down for a gain of 5.
Yeah, really a nice block on the outside that time by the right tackle, Jake McCrary. He just pinned the Bobcat defender inside, and with the quickness of Madkins, he's able to turn that into a 5-yard gain.
Rodriguez now in the backfield. The operator out of the I formation, 3rd and goal from the 5. Here's Madkins. Now they pull it down. Here's McLean. Throws for the end zone, incomplete. Boy, they had Rodriguez out of the backfield, close to the goal line, but the throw just a little bit errant. And it'll bring up 4th down, and here comes the field goal unit.
Yeah, Rodriguez started in that short I and then motioned across the formation, but that ball was clearly a catchable ball. It would have been a difficult catch if he had caught it. I'm not sure Joe Fuller was close enough that time to close him out and keep him from the end zone.
So this will amount to a chip shot for Alex Ferdinand. Ball be placed at the 12-yard line from the right hash, 22-yard attempt. Kick on the way, and it is good. So with 37 seconds to go in the opening quarter, the Eagles from Chadron State capitalize on the Johnson fumble and put 3 on the board. It's now a 6-3 game.
Well, that is a big momentum booster for the Eagles from Chadron State. They did a nice job, and really it goes back to the punt that forces this. As we see, this one just gets through, but the punt was the big game changer there, and that's a sophomore who played the entire year for him as a true freshman and has shown that he does have a big leg. He averaged just under 40 yards a kick last year, but I'll tell you what, he's never had anyone bigger than that one so far.
Well, they were down there in that closed-in Sonny Holland end zone, and Crowd was loud and raucous, kept them out of the end zone for the touchdown. But boy, when you're Chadron State and you're a Division II program, you're coming into Bozeman, you got to come away with something there, partner. You got to get at least 3, and they did that. And we got a 6-3 game after nearly a quarter of football.
Yeah, I think if you're MSU, you've got to be disappointed in the fact that we're not even a quarter into this game. They've already put the ball on the ground twice. They were able to get back on the fumble by Davis, but the play by Johnson, you just can't get away with that in the special teams. You've just got to make the solid decision. You got a booming kick, get down on the ball, get your offense on the field.
So Lorenzo Davis and Ellis are back to receive. And this is coming down to Davis at the goal line. Lorenzo will bring it out up over the 10. Davis to the 15, still on his feet to the 20 and out to the 25. Nice return by Lorenzo Davis. Pulled down by Chadron State there.
Looked like it was number 28, Tyler Wright, who did make the stop on that play, but a nice little bit of a seam. Again, those defenders are 5 yards further up the field this year, so when you decide to bring the ball out, you know, the rule changes are designed to discourage you from bringing those things out because they want to avoid the injuries, the injury impacts that come in the kicking game. But that time, a nice return out to the 25 for MSU.
And I think this time we're going to get false start for Montana State.
Yeah, it looked like it was on the right side of that offensive line. Maybe been Catalano on the
false start. Offense number 61, 5-yard penalty, first down.
No, they're actually going to call it on, Stephen Foster on the tackle there, but it looked like it could have been any number of those MSU offensive
31
linemen.
31 seconds, please.
Stephen Foster, we talked about in the pregame, has moved to right tackle, was a tight end last year. And because of the lack of experience on the offensive line, they've shifted him there. So Lorenzo Davis and Trey Robinson in the backfield to give us to Davis. And Davis stays on his feet. Good hard running up to the 27. Gain of second on the play. Take a look at it again. And this is vintage Lorenzo Davis here,
You'll see this from behind. He just gets in there, makes an inside cut. Actually shows a little power that time after he's initially hit by Kyle McCarthy. He's able to pick up 2 more yards. And it'll be 2nd and 8.
Here's McGee, looks right, throws, complete at the 30 to the 32, and out of bounds. Close to a first down, will bring up 3rd and short. Catch made by Tanner Bluskin. 1 quarter of football is in the books. It's a 6-3 game. Montana State leads the Eagles. Back after these words from your local stations. You're watching Big Sky Game Day. Montana State looking at a 3rd and 2 from the 33. Robinson and Davis in the backfield. Here's McGee, looks, flushed out of the pocket, now throws and complete. And that's Brian Flocketer. Young man out of Laurel High School makes the catch close to midfield and a first down for Montana State.
Well, this time you watch the pocket breaks down a little bit. McGee reads it. He vacates the pocket out here. He's looking to his left, nothing there. He vacates, he puts the pressure on the edge, forces the corner to come up and just lobs it over the top to Flocketer for the first down.
Here's Davis and breaks 1 tackle at midfield and gets to the 48-yard line. Got something out of nothing. We'll give him 3 on the play. So 2nd and 7 as Davis takes it inside Chadron State territory.
Yeah, it looked like that time it was number 31, Bryce Hibner, who came up and made the first hit from his safety spot, and then he is brought down by the linebacker Kevin Lindholm. A little bit of a pickup, but really, Chris, we haven't seen Montana State have a lot of success in the rushing game so far.
Across the middle intended for Ellis, and they're going to call pass interference. Late flag came in. They're going to flag Kyle McCarthy, the linebacker, for pass interference, but that was a late flag coming in. There was contact as McGee was trying to hit Ellis over the middle at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, it did look like there was clearly some contact there.
Pass interference, defense, number 46. Ball placed at the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
You can see him as he goes over the middle. 46, the ball will come from his left, and he's just got a pretty good jump start on that one. Chris got there a little bit early. It's going to be the penalty, and it's going to give Montana State a first down.
Ball at the 42. Robinson now comes out of the backfield. Quick pass on the slant to Ellis, incomplete at the 35, second down.
Denarius is humming this thing right now. Look at him step back, plant that foot, and he is just throwing that thing like a bullet. Maybe a little bit too excited for the receivers. Clearly, again, a catchable ball, but boy, mustard on that one, Chris.
Here's McGee, fires out for Gilbert. He makes the catch, and out of bounds. They'll spot it at the 36-yard line. They need the 33 for a first down, so let's make it 3rd and 3 as the Cats continue to move into Eagle territory. Trey Robinson will now check back in for Montana State.
Well, I've got to give the Chadron Eagles a lot of credit so far, Chris. Montana State has not been able to take control of that line of scrimmage. They're getting pressure. They're closing up the holes on run, and they're forcing Montana State to run plays like this where they get the ball to the outside.
Yeah, here's Robinson just bowling his way down inside the 30 to the 29 and a first down for Montana State. One of the things about these two running backs, whether it's Lorenzo Davis or Trey Robinson, Mike, they're not going to go down on the initial hit. Both guys are elusive, and especially Trey, good hard running. He's just not going to go down that easy.
Yeah, and he has just got a body to go with it. I mean, 6'1", 221, and the guy is ripped. And you can see that time he delivered the blow on the linebacker instead of the other way around.
Here's McGee, play action. Throws it out here for Robinson, breaks a tackle. Now dances forward, not much there. We'll give him 3 on the play, 2nd and 7. A good job on the one-on-one coverage that time by Shea Cook. The junior linebacker from Custer, South Dakota, makes a good open field tackle.
Again, a little play action, and then the short throw underneath, trying to give these guys, it's a high percentage throw, trying to get them out and one-on-one on the outside. That time, good defense to keep that to just a short 2-yard gain.
Brian Flocketer and Everett Gilbert now back in. They're split to the left. Ellis split right. They stay on the ground at Davis. Davis breaks tackles at the 20. Still on his feet inside the 20 to the 19, and very close to a Montana State first down.
Boy, Davis shows great vision. He goes here, watch him see that block, cuts that thing back to his left, shows some speed, holds on to the ball, secures it. First down, Montana State.
Connor Casey finally got him, but not before Davis picks up a first down inside the 20 to the 19. 12:30 to go, second quarter. Bobcats lead this one 6-3. Threatening here early in the second. Single back now is Lorenzo Davis. 2 receivers split right. They stay on the ground. Davis tries to get to the outside, met right at the line of scrimmage. A great tackle that time by Pierre Etchemendy, and Etchemendy gets him. A short gain on the play will bring up 2nd and 7.
Again, Etchemendy at 44. He's listed as a safety, but he almost plays this like a linebacker. He's up, he's got Davis in the open field, and I'll tell you what, that's a great play if you're a linebacker, because that's a whole lot of quick coming at you when you're looking at Lorenzo Davis.
Tanner Bleskin checks back in along with Trey Robinson, who's in the slot on 2nd down. And now they'll bring Robinson across. Here's McGee. Looks right, pulls it down, keeps the football, breaks a tackle. Now to the 15, inside the 5, looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Montana State. Wow, what a play by Denarius McGee. And Mike, that was all Denarius McGee.
That was all Denarius McGee with a little bit of help from Salanoa. They try to sneak Salanoa over the middle here, but when Denarius breaks it upfield, watch the block. He comes back and puts on right there. That's what freed it up. Another good block by Davis. That is an awareness that you've got to have when you've got a quarterback like that who's going to break the pocket.
Okay, well, they spotted him out at the 6-yard line. So, yeah, they spot him out of bounds at the 6, so 1st and goal from the 6. He made the end zone, but stepped out of bounds. So, here we go again. Davis hit at the line of scrimmage, falls forward to the 5, give him the 4. So, 2nd and goal from just inside the 5. Looked like McGee was in the end zone, but you'll see right here on the replay, just steps out of bounds.
Yeah, this is the far corner of the field from our broadcast booth, so not a very good look at it, but I'm sure they got it right.
Oh, that was
Boy,
close.
I don't know if they did or not, Chris. I was trying to give them credit before I saw it, but
Maybe we were right.
that should have been a touchdown.
All right, they give him one on the play, so 2nd and 5. Here's McGee. McGee with some running room. Now throws to the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Montana State. As T. Salanoa, the tight end, in the back of the end zone all alone, gets the touchdown from
the
Denarius
sophomore
McGee.
Getting his first touchdown as a Bobcat. But again, this is not the design play. It breaks down, and he puts so much pressure, McGee does, when he starts to come upfield on that corner, because if you're in coverage, you almost have to break. They broke up, they threw it. Denarius McGee has now played 26 games for Montana State, and he has now thrown a touchdown pass in every single one of them.
So here's Bolton, try again for the extra point, and this one is blocked. So recovered by Montana State, finally brought down there, but that's the 2nd point after block by Chadron State.
Well, and I think both of them have been from Rivera, number 21, the backup defensive back, just came untouched from the outside. He's got great speed.
12-3 Montana State, 10:31 to go here in quarter number 2. Play 75 yards, 5:06 off the clock. Denarius McGee with the touchdown run, rather the pass to T. Salanoa, the sophomore tight end.
The reason he got a little tongue-tied on that, because he did have the touchdown run to begin with, but they called him out of bounds, and yeah, then so he figured he better have to throw it in, Chris.
So Montana State will bring in A.J. Silva. He's just a freshman, but has a big leg. So Silva gets his foot into this one. That's going to be returnable, and Madkins will bring it back. Madkins at the 15, now tries to cut upfield and brought down inside the 20. So the special teams of Montana State doing their job as the Eagles will go back to work on offense. And Mike, let's take a look at this play one more time from the back of the end zone.
Yeah, put yourself in the defensive back's position. When he is putting the pressure upfield like that, you saw the linebacker had to vacate coverage. He came up, and as soon as he did, Denarius McGee was able to throw it right in the area that he had vacated for the touchdown to Salanoa.
Well, as you watch that play develop, Mike, from up here, really, Denarius could have run in pretty easily for the touchdown, elected to throw it to Salanoa. So now Chadron State in some need of some offense now, trailing 12-3 midway through quarter number 2.
It looks like Glenn Clinton has come back at the tailback spot.
And he gets the call in a big hole, but this one will be whistled, and again,
Delay of game.
Delay of game.
Offense, number 13, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Boy, these penalties have been costly for Chadron State, especially in their end of the field where they do not need to go backwards. And now Zach Minner,
10-25,
the anchor
please.
of that defense for Montana State, checks in for the first time.
Well, yeah, you're right, Chris. The penalties hurt, and particularly when they're a pre-snap penalty, where there's nothing forced by the opposition. It's just a mental error on the part of the offense.
1st and 15 from the 14-yard line for Chadron State. Here's McLean. They stay on the ground. Boy, not much there. Clinton maybe one on the play.
Boy, they didn't fool anybody that time. Schreibeis comes from the end. Ashworth comes from the tackle, makes the first contact, and then he gets some help by Noe Akamola cleaning that thing up from the middle linebacker spot. But that was a good picture right there of team defense, and they filled those. The two guys shut it down. Schreibeis and the nose tackle shut down the hole, and the run fit comes from the backer.
So no gain on the play, 2nd and 15. For the Eagles, McLean out of the gun. Play action. Looks, now throws out here. And that is incomplete, intended for Nathan Ross, the wide receiver. And let's go down on the field, and Jeff Everly.
Well, hey, Chris, I was listening to what Jay Long was telling his offense last offensive possession, and he said, saddle up, guys, saddle up. We're in this thing. He was very happy, he was very demonstrative, and he was laughing with his players. His defense is playing well. If his offense can move the football, we've got ourselves a ball game, Chris.
All right, so the Eagles with a big 3rd and 15 as they try to get out from the shadow of their end zone. And here's McClain, now pulls it down, and a little bit of razzle-dazzle. This is going to be a first down up over the 30-yard line to the 35. Boy, what a great play by Chadron State, and it couldn't come at a better time as they get the ball to Glenn Clinton.
This one comes right out of the Boise State playbook where they fake that. It's almost the modern-day version of the Statue of Liberty, and the Bobcats were, without a doubt, confused on that one. There was a huge hole there, and a big play that time. A little gadget play works, gets a little bit momentum back for the Chadron State Eagle.
That was a huge, huge first down conversion for the Eagles as the gain is out to the 34-yard line. Here's McClain. He'll stay on the ground to Clinton again. And once again, good running up over the 40-yard line, but a flag on the play. Ashworth in on the stop, and we'll see what the call is.
Well, I think what we're going to get there is a hold. We had a little confrontation between two preseason All-Americans that time. Offensive tackle Garrett Gilkey was going up for the first time today. He saw Zach Minter for MSU, and I think
holding offense number 73, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
I'll tell you what, Chris, it all happens on the left tackle spot here. Watch, Minter goes up and he just sort of gets wrangled down by the headgear that time by Gilkey. But I'll tell you what, if I was Garrett Gilkey and Zach Minter was coming to me, I would grab anything I could get a hand on, because that is a train wreck coming.
That is a good matchup too, though. The Gilkey with great size, preseason All-American. That'll bring the ball back to the 24 to 1st and 20 now for the Eagles. 3 receivers set to the right. McClain battling the noise down there in the Sonny Holland end zone. This time they'll go the drop play. And the ball is on the ground. I think it's recovered by the Eagles at the 26-yard line as Clinton coughed it up, but I think fell on it.
Well, boy, that time watch MSU does a little X game up front where they run Zach Minter from that tackle spot clear around. It was a perfect play call that time. MSU gets a little strip there. Otherwise, that one is going upfield for a big gain because they had the perfect play into the defense called by MSU.
Darius Jones and Deontay Flowers back in for the Montana defense on 2nd and 17. Ball's at the 27. Matkins in on offense now for the Eagles. Let's stay on the ground. Matkins gets the call up to the 31-yard line. Well, you're starting to see, Mike, pretty good surge by that Chadron State offensive line, and finally starting to get something going here on the ground.
Yeah, they're getting. The problem is, Chris, that while they look like they can get some of that short yardage situation, they're killing themselves with the pre-snap penalty. And again, so they make 2 nice plays, and it's still 3rd and 13 to go.
Alex Singleton, Vic checking in for Montana State, 3rd and long. Ball at the 31-yard line. Here's McClain out of the gun. He's going to roll left, flips it inside to Matkins, who's got some running room. Matkins hit at the 35, well short of the first down. Well-designed play, but that was stuffed quickly by Montana State, and a great play that time by Joel Fuller, the senior out of Libby, Montana.
You can watch him come into your screen from his safety spot. He comes screaming up to make that play. And again, a nice play. You watch as he hits it up in there hard, but again, probably not a play that's designed to get you the 14 yards that you need for the first down. That Montana State defense is more than happy to give you that 4 or 5 yard gain and force you to punt.
Well, Borm's been a busy guy, and he's back in to kick it from the 20-yard line. Johnson back to receive. Johnson fields it at the 20, up to the 30-yard line. Johnson to the 40, to the 45, still on his feet. Now Johnson cuts to the outside, up over midfield to the 40. Johnson to the 30, Johnson to the 20. Foot race to the end zone and out of bounds at the 10-yard line. But what a great return by Johnson as he takes it deep inside of Montana State territory. So the Bobcats with a golden opportunity here with 6:08 to go in the second quarter after the great return by Sean Johnson. This was just a great play here by Johnson on this return.
Yeah, there's a nice seam. He makes a nice cut, gets by Etchemendy, and then he just stops, puts a foot in the ground, turns this thing to the outside, and it's a foot race, and it's the punter Thorne that has to get him and knock him out at the 16-yard line. A big momentum changer for the Bobcat special teams. Johnson makes up for the fumble on the earlier punt.
Totally redeems himself.
I don't know if they'll say totally in film yet, but they will definitely talk about both the good and the bad.
1st and 10 from the 16. They'll stay on the ground. Here's Cody Kirk. And Kirk slams it up over the 15 down to the 13-yard line.
Well, that's the first time we've seen Cody Kirk since the first couple series, and it really goes to show you it's going to be tough. You've got 3 backs, 2 of which are all-conference at their position. Cody, of course, first-team all-conference last year. You wonder with these 3 guys, with Trey Robinson, Cody Kirk, and Lorenzo, if there's going to be enough carries to keep that crew happy.
Well, here's Cody again, gets the call. Stretching for the outside, stays on his feet inside the 5, and a great individual effort. That's what we're used to seeing out of Cody Kirk, because he's finally taken down by Dylan Furrier, but not before he takes it down inside
watch
the
this,
5.
but look who's leading it. The first block comes on the back of theirs. It's backfield mate Trey Robinson, and then from here on, this is all Cody Kirk fighting and scratching for every single yard he can get.
1st and goal from the 2-yard line. Bobcats trying to extend the lead here. 5:20 to go, 2nd quarter. McGee looks for the back of the end zone. Shoulder throw to Ellis. Went to that back shoulder throw, but good coverage that time. Incomplete pass will bring up 2nd and goal. Nice job defensively by Connor Casey.
Yeah, and Connor Casey is this is a 6'2", 200-pound corner. He plays this perfectly, is able to get just enough of the ball to break that thing loose.
2nd down and goal. McGee, the give to Kirk. He's met behind the line of scrimmage, stays on his feet. And he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Great penetration by Chadron State, and that's number 94, John Carlos Medina.
John Medina comes free up the middle, the big nose, and gets a hold of Kirk. Kirk is lucky to get that thing back up near the line of scrimmage, but I think that one was going to cost Montana State probably a yard or so. So now 3rd down, Chris.
Everett Gilbert checks in at wide receiver. Kirk stays in the backfield with McGee on 3rd and 3. Denarius flips across the middle, has a man wide open. That's John Ellis, 6 points for Montana State. Great execution that way as they slid Ellis underneath the coverage and makes the catch for the touchdown.
You can see him coming clear from the outside, just runs underneath and is unaccounted for. A very tough angle for that linebacker when he comes so flat, Chris, because you really never see him until it's too late. Let's see, they look to have loaded up that right side. Maybe well, they actually try and put one of these through.
This has been an adventure. This time Bolton gets it away and the kick is good. So with 4:30 to go in the 2nd quarter, Montana State extends the lead 19-13 on the touchdown pass from Denarius McGee to Ellis.
Cascade.
And here's Silva to kick it away. This one comes to the end zone. And he'll take a knee, so the Eagles will bring it out to the 25 on a 1st down. And Mike, now as we get deeper into this game, and you look at the numbers here, really starting to skew in favor of Montana State. 151 total yards of offense to 73 for the Eagles, pretty much doubling them up and starting to take control in time of possession. And 1st downs, 9 for the Bobcats, just 2 for Colorado State.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of nice plays by Chadron State's offense, but we haven't seen them really put any type of pressure like they're going to actually put a drive together.
Other scores in the Big Sky: UC Davis ahead of Azusa Pacific. Eastern Washington leads Idaho 10-3. North Dakota all over the South Dakota School of Mines. New Mexico State over Sac State. And Utah, no trouble with Northern Colorado, 41-0. Utah State leads Southern Utah 28-3. And we showed you those scores as well. Eastern Washington looking good against Idaho, Mike, and the Eagles from Eastern, one of those teams that should contend for the Big Sky this year, along with Montana State and the Grizz over in Missoula. They're picked 10th in the preseason. Gain of 3 on that last play. 2nd and 7 from the 28. Ooh. Boy, that took a shot at the end of that play. Holy cow.
Clinton hits this thing up there, and this is two ends working together. Watch number 34, Preston Gale, as your end on the right side. He turns it back in, and then watch who comes from the other end. His teammate Schreibeis comes all the way from the left side to really seal that thing up and puts a big hit on Clinton, who is not an easy load to bring down.
3rd and 4 from the 31. 5 receivers set now for the Eagles. Empty backfield for McLean. Comes up now, will change the play. And I don't think they got it off.
No, they didn't. It's going to be another delay penalty, and that time you can see.
Oh, they got a timeout.
Oh, well.
Their first timeout of the half.
So
looks like the timeout must have come from the sideline, Chris, but they were just, there was enough confusion. MSU came up and packed 6 guys in the box. They went man coverage, and they didn't have the proper play called to handle it.
3 minutes to go in quarter number 2, 19-3 our score. And we're back after these words from
At halftime, guys, Chris and Mike will break down the first half. Plus, we'll give you an in-depth look at what Denarius McGee does during his days in the summertime. And a hint, it's not glamorous. Chris?
Thank you, Jeff. So the Eagles now with a 3rd and 4 from the 31. They call a timeout. Let's see what they do here as they try to extend. Bobcat show blitz off the corner. Here they come. McLean throws it up there, incomplete. Good job by Montana State to put the pressure on, intended for Nathan Ross. Never had a chance, and it's 4th down.
Jody Owens comes on the blitz there and brings so much pressure. McLean is forced to just throw that thing out of bounds because he never had a time to even set his feet and look for his receiver.
Jody Owens, 58 tackles last year to lead this Montana State team. Preseason All-America pick, so has definitely factored in here as Johnson back to receive, had that big run back. Bourne will kick it away from the 15. Pressure by Montana State straight up the middle, got it away. And this one sails out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it now. But this Montana State defense, so good, Mike. They returned 8 starters from last year's team, which was the #1 defensive unit in the Big Sky Conference. And you can really now tell in this game now they're exerting their will against Chadron State. And really making it almost impossible for them to do anything on offense.
And we talked about Taylor Dees did a great job while he was in there for Zach Minner, but it changes everything when Minner comes in because now they have that big body that just gets a great push up the field and creates so much more pressure on that offense. And really, since he's come back into the ball game, Chadron State has not been able to get anything going offensively.
Brian Flocketer in, comes across the field now with Robinson and McGee in the backfield. Little slant pattern to Flocketer, incomplete, 2nd and 10. Brian Flocketer, the pride of Laurel, Montana, a trainman, a locomotive in his high school days.
Well, Brian almost looked a little bit surprised there that the ball came to him. And it's also the first time that we've seen Denarius really go up the field with the ball. That time he stayed in the pocket, tried to hit him on the seam. It did open up, but it was a very small window, and they were not able to connect.
T. Salanoa back in at tight end now for Montana State on 2nd down. This time they run a little shovel pass inside to Robinson, and Robinson nothing doing there. That was just a great defensive play by Kyle McCarthy.
Yeah, watch number 46, the middle linebacker, Kyle McCarthy here. He is not fooled, steps underneath the block, comes upfield. Hey, I am impressed, Chris, because this guy has never played college football until today. These are his first snap, and the young man is doing an extremely good job.
Everett Gilbert now in on 3rd and 10 from the 34. Winding down to 2 minutes to go, 2nd quarter, blitz up the middle. McGee flushed out of the pocket, stays on his feet, now looks downfield, and this is caught near midfield by Salanoa. And again, what a great job by Denarius McGee. Mike, I thought he was trapped back there at the 30-yard line, but somehow managed to roll out of the pocket.
It's just this man's ability to improvise and get away from pressure and then direct traffic and wait, be patient. He doesn't just tuck it and run. He always waits, gives that receiver a chance to come open. That time able to find Salanoa for the 1st down.
Another pass out here to Flocketer inside the 45. ridden out of bounds, but a nice pass and catch and out of bounds. Montana State has all 3 of its timeouts remaining in the first half. Lane Haller in on coverage. And you mentioned, Mike, about the size of the corners and the DBs for Chadron State. They're big and physical, but you wonder if they can stay with the speed of Montana State's wideouts. Again, they go right back to Flocketer inside the 40, and that's a first down.
Yeah, you wonder if that, and we really don't know yet because they really haven't tested any of the corners up the field so far this first half. It's been a lot of underneath dink and dunk, high percentage passing game, which the new offensive coordinator for Montana State, McGiven, that's kind of his style of play, but he's got a lot of people involved already tonight, and I think it's only a matter of time till they try and stretch that defense a little bit.
Boy, that's 3 straight passes now to Flocketer. They're going to say he was out of bounds there, so they'll bring it back. 2nd and 10. Still plenty of time. 1:05 to go in the quarter.
Yeah,
and as
1:05, 3 timeouts, Chris, so they've got plenty of time to work this drive and really a good exercise to get in that 2-minute. As you said earlier, you've been going against each other. Now you've got a defense in that 2-minute drill that doesn't actually know your offense.
Lee Perkins checks in at tight end now. Here's McGee, straight drop, looks across the middle, has Ellis wide open at the 35, and he simply dropped it.
Yeah, this ball is just a little bit behind him, but not an excuse because it should have been caught. He comes underneath. He's in front of the linebackers, a little bit behind him.
Tough catch.
Tough catch, but didn't burn a lot of clock. And now we got another 3rd down, and Montana State's got to try and keep this drive alive.
Carlos Medina in for Chadron State. Trey Robinson along with Cody Kirk in the backfield for McGee. Denarius rolls out of pressure. Still looking, stays on his feet, now inside the 40. He'll be well short of the first down, and that was good contained by Chadron State that time. He got a little bit of running room, but eventually ridden out of bounds by Shea Cook, the linebacker.
Well, Chadron's starting to get it figured out that if you do come up and break coverage and try and come up and put pressure, he's going to throw it over your head. That's the first time we've saw them very disciplined underneath coverage that time. They stayed in their assigned areas. They didn't vacate a zone. Denarius not able to find anyone, and that's a big stop for that Chadron State defense trying to end this half, go in without a score for MSU.
Well, let's see what they do now. Bolton rolls to his left, little running kick. Nice job as he fielded at the 10 and brought down. So that was really a good play on all accounts. It was a nice kick by Bolton, and then Taylor very alertly made the catch, got it up over the 15, avoided any potential problem there as the Eagles now with 39 seconds no doubt will run out the clock. And you know what, Mike, I think Chadron State's going to feel pretty good about they played this first half of football against Montana State.
Yeah, I think that they are, because they've done some things and you've really seen some glimpses of things but that are very positive. But again, if you're that offense, you've got to try and find a way to put a couple plays together, a couple plays back to back, and hopefully you can actually get a drive going. But so far, flashes of brilliance, but nothing sustained.
First down. Keep in mind, Montana State does have all 3 of its timeouts, could choose to use them, Mike. We'll see what they do. They'll stay on the ground, and a nice run up over the 30-yard line. That's going to be a first down. And Glenn Clinton having a pretty good first half.
Well, it looks like we had a flag come in at the end of this one, Chris. It came in from the line judge on the outside, so this looks like something that may go against Chadron State, but we'll get the call here that may kind of negate a really nice play on their part.
Horse collar tackle at the end of the play. 15-yard penalty against the defense. First down.
So that's a big penalty against Montana State. And it looks like Sean Gourds is going to be called for this at the end of the play. Well, there you see it.
And you can see, it was tough to see from up here, but he really didn't put that in. Usually they're going to call that when you get the pull back. There's the pull back. When he had the hand resting up there, that probably wouldn't have been an active call, but as soon as he did yank back and you see the head go backwards, they made the proper call. And again, we're going to see a flag come in, this time from the line judge on the other side of the field.
When Madkins got the call as Zach Minner in on the stop for Montana State.
Holding, offense number 75, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
All right, so holding is the call.
Yeah, 75. That's the left tackle, Jake McCarty. He's just a junior, 6'4", 260. As you said, pretty good size across that offensive front for Chadron State. But as I've indicated before, sometimes you got to get a handle on a guy like Zach Minner to get him slowed down.
That's twice there's been penalties trying to contain the guy,
he
right?
really does change everything because he is so difficult to block that you've got to really account for him with not one, but often two blockers on nearly every snap.
Yeah, they won't snap this. That will do it for the end of the half. And Montana State, first ever game under the lights at Bobcat Stadium in a packed house, and the hometown fans seeing the Bobcats lead this one by a score of 19-3 over Chadron State. What a beautiful night, huh, partner, for football?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that smoke isn't too fun to deal with, but it sure gives. If you take a look at that moon, you can see you sure get some pretty views out of there if you can cough her right out of your lungs.
Well, they had it coming over from Billings today. We got into the Livingston area where there was plenty of smoke, but it stayed away from the game. Let's go down on the field and join Jeff Everly.
Hey, Chris, talking to head coach Jay Long. Coach, your defense played really well. What was the key there to limit the offense to only 19 points?
I think that, our guys are flying around and playing hard on defense. Offense, we got to get something going. Got to get a couple first downs. Penalties have been hurting us in that first half, and we got to limit those.
How will you improve that offense in the second half?
I think the biggest thing is just going out and executing. I mean, we realize that when you play teams that are faster, guys start reaching for things. We've had too many holdings, too many offsides. The crowd here is definitely into it and causing some of those offsides, but we need to just settle in and do our jobs.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Coming up is this week's Proud to be a Bobcat from Montana State. Plus, stay tuned for the Wired X halftime report.
Looking back on the first half, it took a little while for the Montana State offense to get in gear. They had a couple of 3-and-outs, little sluggish. You expect that. First game jitters, new offensive line, and opening in front of 20,000 plus here. But once they did get going, they started to move the football and started to dominate as the first half went on. As far as the game itself and where the point separation came in, really Montana State took control on one big play.
Yeah, it was really Sean Johnson with the punt return where he made the nice cut, and then he just made a great individual effort to get to the outside and get knocked out at the 17-yard line. But yeah, offensively, they're having a quiet but very productive first half. I mean, we're talking right now, Denarius McGee, 3 touchdown passes already.
And you're starting to see the effects of a new offensive coordinator in Kevin McGivens. We knew he was going to spread the field, throw a lot. He had a chance to spend some time with Denarius McGee over the summer, and he was so excited about this offense because he knew he was going to be able to get a lot of people involved. And if you know Denarius, one thing you know about him, he is not selfish. He will get you involved. Look at the touchdown. He could have easily run in for the touchdown, found Salanoa in the back of the end zone. He gives the big guy, the tight end, his first touchdown of the season. That's the way Denarius plays. And so with this type of offense, once they get it going, and so many weapons, you look at the backfield and the wide receivers, and Arenzo Davis, Trey Robinson, Cody Kirk, and then all those returning receivers. That's a lot to contain.
It really is a whole lot of, and they're using all of them. Everybody's been involved in it, and it shows just tremendous patience on his part tonight to wait and let those things happen. And they really haven't. They've been taking what the defense has given them, and they haven't gone for that big play over the top.
All right, we're at halftime. Mike Callahan is going to pound down some Wired X energy drink. He needs it. We'll be back. We're at halftime. as we said, kind of a slow starter for both teams on offense, but once things got going, well, players started flying around. We saw some points on the board as it's Gold Rush here in Bozeman. First ever night game under the lights at Bobcat Stadium, and here we go. First touch, Lorenzo Davis, but you see the Eagles fly into the football, get the turnover.
The Eagle linebackers, I think, have played great. You see the strip there. Here, Cody gets a nice little burst to the outside, picks up a nice run, but good blocking out front by Trey Robinson. And here, Trey gets the reward into the end zone for the touchdown.
Nice play there as Chadron State finally answered midway through the first quarter as they recovered a fumble inside the 10. That led to a field goal, made it 6-3. Then the Bobcat offense went to work again, and Lorenzo Davis with good hard running in that first half, Mike.
Yeah, you can see that was part of he ends the half with 7 carries for 23 yards. But again, this is what it really was about, I think, for the Bobcat offense in the first half. Denarius just patiently picking that defense apart.
Yeah, not one but 2 blocked extra points. But here was the big play of the first half. As Sean Flowers fields it, cuts it up inside, and then breaks to the outside. And at this point, it's a foot race to the end zone as Johnson takes it down deep into Chadron State territory, and that would lead to another touchdown.
Yeah, just they sneak Ellis underneath from the outside. An easy throw and catch. And that's what they've been doing. They're creating great opportunities for high percentage throws.
Jeff?
We're now here with Montana State head coach Rob Ash. Coach, your offense was a little stagnant in the first half. Was the Sean Jones return a big spark for your offense?
Yeah, that was a big play. You know, Sean does an awesome job. He's a threat to go all the way anytime, but I wasn't really that unhappy with the offense either. It's the first time for that offensive line, first game in a new system. We did a nice job, got 3 touchdowns and 3 trips to the red zone, so there were some good things too.
You limited the Eagles' offense to just 3 points. Why was your defense so effective?
Well, we're pretty good on defense, and we're fast and we're aggressive, and the guys are in the right places, but that's only one half of the game. We still got a lot of work to do.
Thanks for your time, Coach. That's Montana State head coach Rob Ash. More of the Wired X halftime report after this.
Okay, so we wind down now. Inside a minute to go to start this third quarter, and some very good points made by Coach Rob Ash, Mike. Number one, that new offensive line, new offensive coordinator. So, yeah, it's going to take a little time to get things going, especially when you're starting 2 redshirt freshmen on the left side of that O-line. On the right side, you got a converted tight end in Foster. So Sampson, the only guy with any real experience. And then you add a new offensive coordinator in Kevin McGivens. But as the half rolled on, you started to see some good things happen offensively. And I thought, honestly, with the exception of 1 penalty on that offensive line, they were pretty mistake-free in the first half.
I thought they played good, and they're going to get better. It's like you said, all those things that you mentioned. New coordinator, I mean, the whole laundry list, no matter what, no matter how talented you are, it takes a while to gel that together. And they're seeing a different defense, not the same defense that they tried to prepare for this week, because everybody runs their stuff far better than your scouts can ever duplicate. So they are going to get it going. I think that they showed great patience in not trying to go for the ball over the top. I'm up here going thinking, geez, maybe they need to test one time downfield. I thought maybe both teams, but they didn't do it. And to their credit, they've really kind of taken charge of this ball game.
Montana State will kick off to start the second half, and I thought you made a great point in regard to Chadron State. Much better physical team than we've seen from other Division II schools that have come in here from the RMAC. I think physically, and I think you were right on, spot on with the play of their linebackers. Those linebackers on that team can fly to the football.
Yeah, all 3 of them really. We've seen good plays from Kevin Lindholm, of course, the preseason All-American. But Kyle McCarthy has sort of captured my attention because you don't see redshirt freshmen come in really at any level and play as well as he has so far tonight. So a lot of credit to that young man.
So A.J. Silva kicks off, and this one goes into the back of the end zone. Eagles will start 1st and 10 from the 25. This is one of a host of games in the Big Sky Conference. Tonight we'll try to update you on the scores as we move through the evening. A lot of the teams in the Big Sky are playing up games tonight, and we'll try to pass along some scores as we are into week number 1 of this college football season.
Yeah, some interesting games. I think one of the most interesting of those up games is Eastern Washington just taking a short bus ride down the road at Idaho tonight. We saw an earlier score of 3-0, but it'll be interesting to see how that one progresses.
So McLean, who's gone all the way at quarterback, out of the gun on first down. Fires out here to his right, has a man, and again, that ball should have been caught, just bounced right off the pads of Travis Reeves. That's the second pass that Reeves has dropped tonight. Would have been a gain of 5. So
looked almost like an instant replay the first time we saw it. They're on nearly the same spot on the field. They just turned that short little out, try and get something going, get the ball out of McLean's hands quickly because he hasn't had a lot of time to do it, and that time the receiver just loses concentration, is unable to bring it in.
Reeves was out there working on Deontay Flowers. Incomplete pass will bring up 2nd and 10. Eagles have been stymied on offense. Here's another pass out in the left flat, and that's incomplete. And again, that was just great defense turned in by Darius Jones, who broke quickly on the ball.
That's him. She's all conference corner. You see, he's not, a lot of corners would be more than happy to give up that 2-yard out for the short yardage. Not going to happen with number 13. He's going to go up and aggressively try and make a play there. 3rd and 10 for the Eagles.
You look at the difference between an FCS school and a good Division II school, and oftentimes it's the speed. Depth and speed are the two things oftentimes that spell the difference.
Yeah, I think the speed has been a big factor. As you see, there's a little speed right there from number 96.
Yeah.
The unanimous all Big Sky player, Zach Minter. He just is a load coming up the middle. Watch him come. Just to make a little move to the right, but he comes up. When he breaks free, a little spin move there. McLean forced to bring that ball down to the coverage, and then he's got Zach Minter right in his grill.
Josh Bourne back to kick now from inside the 5-yard line. Bobcats should get great field position to start the 3rd quarter. Johnson standing at his 45. Bourne rolls to his right. Johnson will field it inside midfield, hit once, stays on his feet, now to the 45 and down to the 41-yard line. So a short field to work with for Montana State as they have great field position, taken out of bounds by Kiefer Burke. Backup defensive end, and the Cats with excellent field position.
Boy, we're seeing Johnson. Watch him. He secures his ball and gets it upfield, makes the first guy miss. But here we're looking at some of Denarius' first half, and he's just out making it happen on the corner. This is the run here. But watch him. He's just so calm and collected when he's back there. He just waits, and he's so patient and allows those receivers to break open late.
Bobcats will stay on the ground to Arenzo Davis. Nothing doing there. May have lost a yard. 2nd and 11. Good job again by Chadron State. Those linebackers just flying to the football, and a good tackle by Kiefer Burke.
Yeah, that time it's just, again, John Medina, Zach Sandstrom, both are getting great upfield pressure. They just got that 3-man down look, but they do a great job, and they've shown me a lot more speed than I thought we'd see out of that group.
Well, delayed pass to Davis, and Davis a hard man to bring down, but he's caught in the open field. Nice job by Bryce Hubner to make the tackle and a short gain on the play, so it'll be 3rd and 8 from the 39.
And you can see why Davis is just a little bit different than the other backs here. He's just got a little bit of shake that the other two don't, a little bit of quickness that he uses, but that time, good job by the defense to be able to corral him well short of the first.
Tanner Bleskin in on 3rd down. Ball's at the 42. Here's McGee, looks left, now throws it long and deep for Ellis. An incomplete pass inside the 10-yard line. Good coverage back there by Chadron State in single coverage. That was Connor Casey.
Connor Casey, again, we talked about. He's got great size for a corner. You look and you see 6'2", 100. That's a guy that you expect body-wise to be playing at a higher level, so you wonder maybe he doesn't quite have the speed to get it done at the Division I level, but there's no separation that has been created by any receiver by MSU against Connor Casey this evening.
Looks like the Bobcats may go here on 4th and 6. Cody Kirk checks in the backfield on 4th down. I just don't think the Bobcats think that Chadron can move the ball, so they're going to go, and this is incomplete, intended for Ellis at the 27-yard line. So Montana State fails to capitalize. 12:51 to go in the 3rd. Chadron State with the football, trailing 19-3 when we come back. Chadron State takes the field for their next offensive possession, trailing 19-3, and going to work against a very stout Montana State defense, which has not yielded much in the way of yards tonight.
No, not a lot of yards, and only 4 first downs so far for Chadron on offense.
McLean has gone all the way at quarterback for the Eagles. He has the football in a straight drop. Good protection. Now he's going to air one out. This one thrown down inside the 20. Incomplete. Flags come in, and that's going to be pass interference. It was intended for Nathan Ross. And they're going to get pass interference on Darius Jones.
Yeah, they've got Ross is able to create a little distance here, and as Jones goes to close, turns his head, and you've definitely got contact there. It was the right call. Both the back judge and the side judge came in with the flag, so that's going to be a big pickup.
Number 13, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
For the Eagles.
And that'll take them inside Montana State territory to the 46-yard line and a first down for Chadron State. So a good break here to start the third quarter.
Yeah, they need something like that. They had the big play on the fumbled punt earlier. Has really been the only time that they have threatened the Bobcat defense.
Good hard running up on the inside. Stopped there by Caleb Schreibeis. Picks up 3, maybe 4 on the play.
Boy, that's the second time today we've seen Schreibeis come down from his in position across the formation and make a big hit on a Eagle running back.
So that was a 6-yard gain, so 2nd and 4 from the 40. Single back formation bunched up there on the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers set. They stay on the ground and ridden down, and a loss of 1 on the play. And Ashworth with a great play. We've seen a lot of him tonight.
He's doing a great job up front, making his first start. Has really come on for MSU, but this time too tight, single back. Ashworth, nothing doing. He's there, and he gets help from another young man making his first start, number 16, outside backer Cole Moore.
All right, so loss of 1 brings up 3rd and 5 from the 41. 3 receivers set to the right now. Bobcats show blitz off the corner. He gets it away. They try to throw a little screen pass. Caught and in traffic. Going to be a yard short of the first down as Ashworth on the stop, but that was a dangerous pass.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the flag was, but there you see number 90, Sheridan, making a nice play for the Bobcats. That's another redshirt freshman seeing his first college action of the year.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 90. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Just when I'm trying to give him a little love, it looks like he got a handful of mask. And again, the only way that they've moved the ball this second half is by the defensive penalties on the part of Montana State.
Yeah, 2 costly penalties on this drive has moved the ball to the 22-yard line, and you're going to see it right at the end of this play.
Yeah, Sheridan does a nice job. He's right in the middle of this where he needed to be, but we missed it on that replay, but apparently he got just a little bit of mask, but again, he was where he was supposed to be and making a good aggressive play.
Here's McLean getting flushed out of the pocket and incomplete as he just heaves it out of bounds. Really not intended for anybody, but incomplete pass will bring up 2nd down. And boy, he hasn't had much time to throw back there. Again, good pressure up the middle and forced to roll outside the pocket to his right.
Yeah, that time Preston Gale, it's great to see him back. Missed last year, of course, with an injury. A guy that can, like so many of those Montana State defenders, just got great speed on the outside rush.
2nd down. McLean surveys the Montana State defense, has 3 receivers to his right. They stay on the ground, and Matkins breaks 1 tackle, but not much there, maybe 1 on the play. Jody Owens on the tackle for Montana State.
Schreibeis, Owens, they were all there to help out on that one. That was good. They tried to spread it out a little bit. They had 3 receivers on the bottom side of the formation. They forced the linebackers to walk out, but the MSU front was able to take care of that themselves.
Eastern Washington continues to lead Idaho 10-3, and Moscow 3rd and 9 for the Eagles. Here's McLean, rolls right, looking, and now fires out there and out of bounds, so it'll bring up 4th down, and again, just no one to throw to. Great coverage there by the Bobcats secondary.
MSU takes out the outside linebacker that time. Moore comes with their nickel package where they put Sean Gordon, who a lot of times last year he was a starting cornerback for MSU. So really, we're starting to see some of the difference. You talk about depth. That's a thing that really is a luxury when you have extra corners that you can bring in and play in that nickel package that are really solid performers.
Okay, Ferdinand will line up here for a 37-yard field goal attempt straight away. Ball down, plenty of distance, kick on the way. And this one is good. So Ferdinand splits the uprights. The Eagles get the first points of the second half. Now a 19-6 game with 10:10 to go in the third. .37-yard field goal by Alex Ferdinand has Chadron State on the board here in this third quarter, 19-6. Now Bourne will kick it away. He might be coming with something a little different here, maybe a squib kick of some sort. Ellie Boots gets his foot into it. This will come down to Gilbert. That's returnable. Gilbert up over the 15 to the 20. Gilbert to the 25, to the 30. Breaks tackles up over the 35 to the 36-yard line. Great job by Everett Gilbert to give Montana State great field position. Kyle Vintage, the backup wide receiver, in on the stop for the Eagles. And the latest Montana forward scoring drive, 7 plays, 40 yards. 4:40 off the clock and aided by 2 costly penalties.
Yeah, they had the pass interference first on Jones, and then they had the face mask, and really that's what created that opportunity for them. But they did, Ferdinand's got a big leg, and he was able to come through with that 3-point field goal.
Tack on another 5 yards on the offsides by Chadron State on the kickoff as Montana State goes to work now for the second time in this second half. 3 receivers set to the left for Denarius McGee out of the gun on first down. McGee flips it to Tanner Bluskin, and Bluskin up over the 50 and a first down. Nice play, well executed. Etchemendy in on the stop, and
it looks pretty simple, just a straight step and throw to a big target, and he takes a big hit at the end of that thing. But as I mentioned earlier, Tanner Bluskin has shown us over the years that he's just a solid money guy that's going to make that play for you.
Here's Cody Kirk straight up the middle, and Cody very close to a first down. Takes it to the 37-yard line.
I think this is what the MSU offensive coaching staff is really going to be looking for in the second half. They want that offensive line to sort of come to life and open up some of those holes so they can take charge with the rushing game and sort of own the line of scrimmage. That time, Cody with a nice burst up an open hole in the middle. He's got 44 yards working so far this evening.
Here's McGee intended for Robinson, incomplete. That'll bring up second down. Cody, 44 yards rushing on the night, 1,300 yards rushing for Montana State last year. I think suffice to say, Mike, that was more than a pleasant surprise. I mean, I think they knew Cody had some skills, but I don't think they ever thought he was a 1,300-yard guy.
Well, Cody's just a guy that his work ethic allows him to just continue to get better. So, yeah, I think it was a surprise, but I certainly think that everyone realized just what they had by the end of last year, that he was a real special back, and it's going to be, well, that was the 5th best rushing effort in Montana State history.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, Denarius keeps the football down to the 32-yard line. That's going to be short by 5, so 3rd and 5 for Montana State on this current drive. And again, Montana State shuffling in players. Robinson back in, Ellis in, Tanner Bluskin in on 3rd down. They need 6 for the first. And Cody bounces to the outside, has some running room. Cody to the 25 of the 20. Cody inside the 10 and marked out of bounds at the 7-yard line. You saw the speed of Cody Kirk to get to the outside, and then it was simply a foot race to the end zone.
Yeah, it was. Look at this, just sort of a little bit of a pistol set for Cody's behind. He does a little jab step to his right, and then the O-line did a nice job of collapsing that thing inside, just giving him a great running lane to the outside. Good pursuit angles by the Eagles, and they were able to force him out at the 8-yard line.
First down, And they'll stay on the ground to Cody Kirk, and Kirk slams it up inside of the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal from the 5.
Well, again, while they're giving up some bigger plays, that front continues to be very gamey, and the backers for the Eagles have been very impressive. I just think that they're going to, at some point, you run out of steam where you just can't keep making plays on probably a group that's just a little bit more talented.
Everett Gilbert checks in now. Flags and whistles blow here. False start for Montana State, and that'll back them up 5 yards.
False start, offense number 55. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, that's John Widenauer, one of the true freshmen. First time we've brought him up tonight. Hey, those things are going to happen. Those are some of the growing pains that are going to come with young guys, but you hate to see that type of play down in the red zone.
Puts the ball back to the 10-yard line, so 2nd and goal from the 10 inside 8 minutes to go in the 3rd in a 19-6 game. Empty backfield for McGee. Looks right, fires across the middle to Ellis. Ellis with the catch at the 5 now gets hit at the 3 and gang tackled there short of the goal line. Good initial stop by Shea Cook, the linebacker, and that'll bring up 3rd and goal from the 3.
Well, they go 5 wide here. They got 3 receivers on the top of your screen. Denarius just sits back and throws another dart to Ellis underneath the coverage, and then he's able to sneak a couple yards after the catch on his own to bring up about 3rd and 3.
Well, similar play that led to a touchdown in the first half when they found Ellis across the middle.
Yeah, it really does put a lot of pressure on those backers because it's hard to see visually when those guys are coming so flat.
Robinson in motion. McGee now looks, can't find anyone, rolls left. And Denarius still looking, and now throws it into the end zone, and Ellis is there for the touchdown. Boy, talk about patience by Denarius. McGee was back there for what seemed like forever, and then finally found Ellis, who broke open in the end zone.
This is all improvisation. He's the improv guy. Look at this. He starts to his left. He can't get there. Then he breaks this thing, and there's nobody there. He's got it tucked. He gets the corner, stops, takes it back inside. Boom. The vision that he has downfield on the run is just flat amazing. It ends up in his 4th touchdown throw of the evening.
Bolton on for the extra point off the Aluska hold, and it's good. So with 6:50 to go in the 3rd, Montana State ups the lead over Chadron State, 26-6.
Chadron State sideline, and I asked backup quarterback Brandon Gorsuch if he's going to the football game. He said yes. So John McClain is out, Brandon Gorsuch is in. Chris?
Thank you, Jeff. Why not? See if a new quarterback can kind of jumpstart that offense in the fourth quarter. And not a bad idea. Both these guys played last year, and so Gorsuch will get a little work here in the fourth quarter. In the meantime, Bobcats have a first down at the 46 in Chadron State territory in a 26-6 game as we start the fourth quarter. Cody Kirk in the backfield. He'll get the call. Tries to get to the outside, now just sticks his head down there.
We've seen that before, Chris. It looks like there's nothing there, and 25 just puts his head down and drives. But this is a guy who is never going to go down without a fight. Does a nice job, make a cut to the outside, and then it's just abuse on that defensive end, number 59. That was Bryant Miller, and the outside linebacker, and he'll remember Cody Kirk.
Miller's going to need a couple Tylenol after that play. Cats will stay on the ground this time to Trey Robinson inside the 40. Be a couple of yards short of the first down, as now the Bobcats content to just ground and pound this game here in the fourth quarter. Take time off the clock. Perkins now checks in for Montana State, the tight end. Here's the attendance for tonight's game, and there you go, north of 20,000, 20,767. Actually sold some standing room only tickets to this game as they were sold out by Wednesday. That'll be a record. Little shovel pass to Cody, first down. Cody Kirk to the 35.
Well executed. Yeah, you go back to those attendance numbers, and we talked about it earlier, but those are Montana State. Those are Cat Grizz type attendance numbers for this stadium. So an impressive start. Hats off to the MSU fans and really the administration for making something like this happen. The lights, the donors, it's all come together, and it's going to be a historic night for MSU.
First down from the 39 now as they continue the drive. Denarius now pulls it back, fires long and deep across the middle, and in and out of the hands of Ellis in the end zone. Pretty good coverage back there. It looked like Ellis had a chance to bring it in for the touchdown.
Yeah, it sure did, Chris. You know, we're starting to see now they pounded with Cody a few times, and now they do take the shot up the field with Ellis. They run the little play action fake, and look at the blocking up front. He's got all day to throw it, and we can't really see it there if the defender did get a hand on it, but we've seen now this second half they are trying to stretch the field occasionally.
Stay on the ground to Cody Kirk, who's got all kinds of running room straight up the middle. Inside the 25 to the 23-yard line, and a first down for Montana State.
Is it just me, or does it always seem like Cody Kirk knows exactly where that first down stick is? I mean, he just does an amazing job that time falling forward and getting just enough to move the state.
Here's Cody again. And this time he's going to be met right at the line of scrimmage. Good, solid tackle by our man, number 16, Lane Holler, who comes up and makes the stick. Those corners are physical. Yeah, maybe not the fastest we'll see, but boy, they can.
No, and they can play the run, and they've given up a lot of stuff underneath tonight. But again, 6'3", 205. These are big corners at any level.
So Kirk just manages a gain of 1 on the play as Arenzo Davis is now in the backfield with Trey Robinson on second down. And Arenzo, he cuts it up inside, not much there, to the 20, maybe the 19. So that'll bring up 3rd and 6. Well, you were wondering about these three running backs, Mike. The thing about it, though, that I like is that, you know, it's not just the touches they're going to get as running backs. I mean, we've seen Trey Robinson line up in the slot as a wide receiver. Same thing with Lorenzo Davis. So even though they're maybe not getting the ball out of the backfield, they're going to get touches whether they're at running back or in the slot or however way they want to use them.
And what is so impressive, too, is they've all been very effective blocking downfield, and that's giving it up for your teammates and sacrificing some of that personal glory.
There we go, underneath and across the middle, and that's caught by Brian Flockerter, but well short of the first down. That's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, it looks like they are going to go with it and keep the offense on the field for this one. It's going to be, what, about 4th and about 3, or maybe even closer to 4 on this one. So aggressive. Maybe you think some of that long snapping PAT stuff that's gone on may influence this decision.
4th and 4 now from inside the 20. Here's McGee. fires it out there, and that's going nowhere fast, but Cody breaks tackles. Now that's going to be very close to a first down. It looked like he was going to be stopped in the backfield.
Connor Casey, who we've talked about, number 17, the corner, he comes up and just puts a lick, just a little flare pass. Cody's actually got his back to him. How he keeps his feet here, look at that.
Yep.
The knees are so close, but that's just great individual effort. Picks it up, and while he did come up with just a little bit short, that is a heck of an effort by the part of 25 there.
Well, they turned the ball over on downs, but with 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and really Chadron State not able to move the football too much. They're going to start deep in their own end from the 15. Let's talk, Mike, a little bit about the Big Sky Conference. They grew from 9 to 13 teams in the offseason. Cal Poly is in. Southern Utah is in, along with the University of North Dakota. I think, you know, you want quality in your league, not just quantity. But to be honest with you, the 4 teams that are coming into the league are pretty good football programs.
They are, and they're programs that are on their way up, too. And I think being part of the Big Sky Conference is really going to allow them. There's going to be some increased exposure for them. And I think those programs are going to just get tougher and tougher over time.
Incomplete pass brings up second down. Well, you look at Cal Poly. Gorsuch is now in at quarterback. Cal Poly's been a very, very good program in the FCS for a while. Incidentally, all these teams are out of the Great West Conference. North Dakota is a transitioning team that is now a full member of the FCS, and we know what North Dakota State did in their short turnaround to the FCS level. They won a national championship.
Particularly what they've got now as far as funding there, but I think it's going to just become a much more competitive conference top to bottom.
They'll stay on the ground, bring up third and long. Yeah, I really like the expansion in the league. A couple of those schools are coming in as football-only programs. And then, you know, you got a team like Southern Utah that all of a sudden has started to make a little bit of noise. They put the lumber to UNLV last year.
Yeah, they come in with, well, you know, they haven't been in the league, and they come in preseason. First-team quarterback selection is their quarterback, Brad Sorensen. So it's definitely going to be different. There's part of me, the traditionalist, that goes, geez, you know, I sure love that round-robin format where everybody got a shot at everybody. And, of course, you give that up in this new, with the expansion. But I think overall it's just going to be a great addition.
Huge play by Zach Minner, and, boy, he made his presence felt there. Smelled that play out. Loss all the way back inside the 10-yard line.
Well, you can see Minner goes down and just never gives up on that play. It started to be a little bit of a cutback, but then he's got that head shake going. But look at the big guy go. He's got an ability to get upfield that I think is probably unmatched in this conference for the people that we've seen. He's just big, strong, and he's so athletic that he can make those plays happen.
So 4th and 11 forces the Eagles to punt from their own end zone. And here's Bourne. He'll get this one away. A low kick, that's returnable. And Johnson at the 45 tries to turn it upfield. He's going to be swarmed under and dropped all the way back at the 35-yard line. So he loses 10 yards. 9:25 to go in the fourth. Bobcats with the football when we return. .25 to go in the fourth quarter. Rob Ash looking on as he begins his 6th season as head coach here at Montana State, quickly moving up the all-time win list for Bobcat coaches. Stay on the ground to Lorenzo Davis, and Davis breaking tackle, still on his feet, and Davis up over midfield inside the 40, and finally ridden out of bounds at the 32-yard line. And Lorenzo Davis with a great run deep into Chadron State territory.
Watch who opens this thing up. Here's a little kick by 25, Cody Kirk, his backfield mate, doing a good job. And then the rest of this is all Lorenzo, showing that burst that you can remember. You know, 2010, I won't forget, he made those 2 plays that we was absolutely stopped against the University of Montana. He's just got a little something special, and it's good to see that athlete back on the field.
Here's a short catch out there by Tanner Bleskin, well, he's got a pile of catches tonight. Well, you got to give Lorenzo Davis a whole lot of credit because he had such a great junior year. And then he said, you know, they basically gave him the choice as we take a look at this play one more time, and you can hear the pop at the end of the play. So
sounds like he's throwing a strike, doesn't it?
I was going to say, he got a little zip on that football. Davis again. Back to Lorenzo Davis for just a moment, Mike, because they gave him a choice. He missed last year, academically ineligible, and they said, look, you can leave, or you can stay here, work hard, go to class, get your grades back up, and come back for your senior season. And that's exactly what he did.
And not forget, pay your own way while you're here.
Pay your own way while you're here.
Yeah, I think it was a great effort on his part. Could have easily gone the other way, so you've got to give him a lot of credit. That takes a lot of courage when you're at the top, and he's one of the finest backs in the league in 2010, and then you take that big fall, and to climb that ladder again is pretty courageous.
So that is very close to the first down, and it is a first down at the 21-yard line. Chadron State's going to be a very good football team in the RMAC Conference this year. I believe they're picked third, Mike, in the league, but they've got size, they've got obviously well coached, fundamentally sound, and they are going to have a good season. And
I can't believe the number of weapons they have. I mean, they've got 3 good receivers. They all haven't shown all that well tonight, and the multitude of backs that they've got is pretty impressive.
Really like their defense, the way they've played tonight. And, you know, right now holding Montana State, one of the most explosive teams in the FCS, to 26 points. That's not bad.
And they're doing it. They are a young football team. They only start 4 seniors on their defensive squad, only 3 senior starters on the offensive unit. So this is a team that looks like they're going to be very solid and very good for a long time.
Late flag coming in on the catch by Gilbert, which for the moment is a first down at the 11-yard line. There you see other scores in the Big Sky. Eastern Washington continues to lead Idaho. The Eagles are 15th in the first FCS poll. North Dakota all over the South Dakota School of Mines. Let's get the call.
Illegal substitution on the defense, entering the game across the neutral zone. The penalties decline. Result of the play, first down.
So Montana State will have a first down at the 11-yard line. Utah State over Southern Utah tonight. UC Davis beating NEI member Azusa Pacific 34-3. That's in the third. Arizona State shutting out Northern Arizona 21-0 in the second. Here's McGee, pulls it down at the 5, still on his feet. McGee looks for the end zone, and he's pulled down at the 4-yard line, and will bring up 2nd and 3.
Just a little option looked like that time. They had 2 backs in the backfield. He's got Cody Kirk on his right hip, and he just sees the seam here and cuts this all the way back across the field. Looked like he maybe could have got up if he would have turned that last step, but still a nice run. Brings up a short 2nd and 3.
Connor Casey in on the stop for the Eagles. He's been a busy man tonight. 2nd and 3. Davis in the backfield. He gets the call. And Davis with a nice move at the 3, and then dives for the touchdown, and they'll give it to him. That's all one-on-one effort by Lorenzo Davis. What a beautiful little move at the 3.
Watch this move that he puts on. He just freezes the defender here on the outside, just able to stop his feet. Connor Casey's there, the backer's there, but they just can't get a handle on him, and he dives in for the 6-point score.
So Lorenzo Davis, boy, he is in mid-season form as he got going midway through this first half, and he hasn't backed off at all.
Well, you always wonder with these quality backs and having so many of them, just if they can do that. And one of the things that the coach talked about this year is they all have to be ready. They're not going to get those 10 carries to start building that momentum. When their number's called, they've got to step up, and I think all 3 of them have done that.
Back after these words from your local stations. Lorenzo Davis, look at the smile on his face. How glad do you think he is to be back playing, huh? He's earned it. 8 plays, 63 yards, 3 minutes off the clock, and Davis on the 5-yard touchdown run. And again, Michael, this is just a great move at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, he just gets the outside. There's a backer and a corner there, and he just freezes them and able to get just enough to get in for the score. you've got to believe he's been dreaming of getting back in the end zone for quite some time.
Oh, no doubt about it. Silva's kick will go into the end zone, and this is going to be brought out by Ross. And Ross on his feet to the 20-yard line. And let's go downstairs to Jeff Eberly.
Chris, earlier in the week, we talked to head coach Rob Ash, and he said, I was a history major in college. History is very important. Well, back in '06, Chadron State jumped off to a 14-point lead. Well, MSU's at 33-6. It's a different story in 2012, Chris.
Indeed it is, Jeff, and I remember that game quite well. The Chadron State with Danny Woodhead came in, and what a shocker after the Cats had beaten Colorado down in Boulder. And then Chadron State came in and really put a hurting on the Bobcats. Tonight, much different story. Cats dominating. Gorsuch stays in at quarterback, now flips it out here, and that is caught and then out of bounds for a nice little 5-yard gain. So they go to Chapman Ham, the junior out of Rapid City, who makes the catch at the 25.
Well, Chris, we're seeing a whole bunch of new numbers on the defensive unit now. We got Verlanik, Dees, Preston Gale, and Sheridan up front. We've got 3 new backers as well. We're getting our first look at Aaron Burnett, number 22, down here on the corner, the transfer from Texas.
Same hometown as Denarius McGee, right? From Texas?
You just keep sending everyone we can get from Euless, huh?
Oh, good hard running. That's a first down carry up over the 35 to the 36-yard line. Well, you know, when you look at a game like this, a couple things you can take away from it, and obviously of equal importance late in a game like this, and you mentioned it, Mike, is now for Coach Ash to get a look at some of these players that might normally not see some game time, and he's going to get a good look at them here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and you get your starters off the field now, and from what we can see, at least we haven't seen anybody go down. It looks like everybody is going to get off the field healthy tonight.
First down from the 36. Gorsuch, little play action now, fires across, has a man at the 45. Nice, well-executed play there, and a catch by, catch the number on the receiver there. I think that was number 83.
I think that was
Cody Rose.
Looks like Cody Rose, but I'll tell you what, Brandon Gorsuch is no slouch. You can see this is a guy who threw for over 2,000 yards and 18 touchdowns last year, so a pretty solid backup quarterback by any measurement.
Gain is up to the 46 and a first down as we're inside 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Oh, that was a good play right at the line of scrimmage. Jeff? All right, we'll check in with Jeff in just a moment. There he is. Hi, Jeff. What do you got for us?
Chris, earlier this past week, an American icon passed away, Neil Armstrong. Well, he was the first guy on the moon. Well, tonight, we've got a blue moon. It only happens 3 times a year, so it's the first night game at Bobcat Stadium, and the fans here in Bozeman get a chance to look up at a blue moon.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. You know, pick up a little knowledge on these games every now and then.
I might start to feel a little educated.
A little bit smarter after we leave tonight. Eagles content to stay on the ground. And Verlanik, I believe, in on the stop for Montana State, one of those backups now that's in the game.
It was a little, we've seen a couple of big city kids making tackles. The last, that was Connor Verlanik out of Drummond. The play before that, we saw Rhett Young out of Augusta. So the Montana kids are making themselves known a little bit to the boys from Nebraska.
3rd and 9 from the 47. 3 receivers set to the right side for Gorsuch. Now comes back, and this one is almost intercepted. Incomplete pass, and that's the new transfer you were talking about.
Yeah, Aaron Burnett. You can see this one. It looks like the Gorsuch thought this might be a little bit that he was going to turn in on the receiver, but he turned out. Barnett was there, almost got underneath that one to take it the other way.
New return man as well for Montana State as they bring in David Dash, a sophomore from Fontana, California. Back to receive, standing at his own 10-yard line. This kick is angled out of bounds, and Montana State has the football with 3:04 in control here, leading 33-6. Montana State back with the football, and here's Johnson breaking off a big run up over the 40-yard line. New quarterback for Montana State for these final couple of minutes, and that's Jake Bleskin, the freshman out of Great Falls.
You can see Sean John getting himself a chance here in the backfield, and it looks like that one punt return where he was just got it to the outside and was able to turn it upfield.
Wonder if old Jake could get one to his brother out there, a wide receiver, old Tanner.
We'll see. If he does, he might hear about it.
Oh, Johnson avoids one tackle and then is slammed out of bounds, and now flags come in. That's going to be a late hit, I think. And we could hear it from up here.
Yeah, there was definitely some pads popping on this one. See how as he turns this thing back. Well, this looks like this was actually the play before.
All right, so Jake Bleskin had an outstanding career up there in Great Falls and in a quarterback.
Foul, late hit out of bounds. Number 4 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
15 yards tacked on, the late hit there coming after the play. And here it is. Yeah, well out of bounds. Good call.
Good call, but again, nothing malicious there. He just wasn't trying. I wouldn't call that cheap by any means, but he did make contact clearly outside the stripe.
Bleskin bobbles the snap, but gets it to Johnson. A loss on the plays back to the 45. Chase Young in at wide receiver.
Well, this won't be their proudest play here, but he shows good hands to get it, tries to get rid of it. That looked like a little backyard football as well, but 55, or is that 56? I can't quite
does he get 2 tackles on that play?
I think he does. That's called one-man group effort.
Loss is back to the 45, 2nd and 17. Here's Bleskin. His first pass as a Bobcat is complete.
To David Dash, another promising recruit who came in as a running back and has been moved to receiver. It does look like there's going to be a face mask flag, but here we go. The first pass as a Bobcat is going to be to Dash, and I think they're going to tack on a little bit more on the end of this. It looked like there's going to be a face mask penalty.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 33, 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
So I certainly don't think that Coach Ash and his staff were trying to put another score on the board here, but it looks like with some of the success they're having with these backups and a couple of the penalties that they may get a chance to put this one in the end zone to finish this thing off.
And of course, our next broadcast, as we mentioned, will be Saturday in Missoula as the University of Montana takes on South Dakota. The return of Joe Glenn returns to Washington Grizzlies Stadium. The Coyotes and the Grizzlies Saturday 1:30 on Max Media across Montana. That will be a fun and entertaining game. Looking forward to making the trip over to Missoula, and 25,000 plus at Washington Grizz. Great game day atmosphere there as well, and that should be fun. We'll see another promising young quarterback at Montana. One of the most highly recruited players in the country coming out of Hawaii, Trent McKinney. Here's Johnson, stuffed right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that time a good job up front, and again, that's number 94. We've talked about him several times, playing that nose guard position. John Medina, actually a product, I don't know that I've ever seen a football player from San Juan, Puerto Rico.
That is fresh. 2nd and 10 from the 10. The things you pick up on. Bobcats out of the power eye. Yep, just going to kneel it down, and that'll be the final play of the game. Is Montana State, let's call it an efficient effort. A solid effort tonight against Division II Chadron State, which really gave the Bobcats all they could handle for much of the first half. But in the end, the athleticism, the playmaking ability, and of course, that Montana State defense proved to be more than too much for the Eagles as The Cats opened the 2012 season with a 33-6 win over Chadron State, and now look forward to week number 2 when they head to Des Moines, Iowa, and take on Rob Ash's former team, the Drake Bulldogs.
Yeah, a little bit of a step up, but you go from a Division II team now next week, you're going back up to your level at the FCS.
And we will be back to wrap things up here in Bozeman. 33-6 our final score. Back after these words from your local stations. You're watching Big Sky Game Day. Season opener for Montana State. Again, they put the finishing touches on a 33-6 win over Chadron State. Pretty much going the way head coach Rob Ash would like to see after a bit of a slow start. Really dominant on both sides of the football.
Yeah, I think it's a solid effort, both sides of the ball. A lot of things to clean up as you move into next week, but the special teams as well, some things to fix there. But overall, you got out of it. They appear to got out healthy. You put up the W and you move on.
And obviously a terrific night here in Bozeman under the lights for the first time in school history. Better than 20,000 on hand for this season opener. That's going to do it from Bozeman. We'll see you again Saturday when the University of Montana opens their season at Washington Grizzly Stadium against the South Dakota Coyotes. For all of us at Max Media, from Mike Callahan, I'm Chris Byers saying so long from Bozeman.
Under the lights at Bobcat Stadium tonight for the first time ever. And since we have talked about tonight's matchup for, it seems like, the past 95 days, I think it's best if we just go to the video. I guess I was looking down the whole time, wasn't I? While the camera was on? Okay. Well, anyway, Denarius McGee, really the story of this game. The man tossed 4 touchdown passes and ran this one in. This really the story of the game. This guy's unbelievable. The junior, 29 of 40, 176 yards. He's thrown a scoring touchdown in 26 consecutive games. It's unbelievable. The Bobcats winning big tonight by a final of 33-6. 33-6. That's a good way to start the season, under the lights, in front of a packed house. And with that, hello again, friends, and welcome. I'm in for Chris tonight, as you will see.
Third in the country, big test. Let's go down on the field to get the keys to the game from our own Jeff Epperly. Hi, Jeff.
Chris, it's the boys from the Treasure State against the boys from the Lone Star State. Texas versus Montana. For your Billings Hotel and Convention Center keys to the game, number 1 for Stephen F. Austin, no turnovers. They turned the ball over 10 times last week against SMU, and they can't do that and give Denarius McGee and company any gifts. Number 2, put pressure on the young and inexperienced MSU offensive line. Last week against the Bulldogs, Drake posed a lot of different formations and threats. The MSU offensive line gave them a lot of trouble. And number 3, pass, pass, pass. The MSU secondary last week had a lot of trouble against Drake quarterback Mike Piakowski. If Stephen F. Austin can put up a lot of points and throw the football, they'll be very effective. For Montana State, Denarius McGee. He threw 2 picks last week, an interception 2 weeks ago against Chadron State. He's got to be more effective. Number 2, left tackle, freshman John Weinauer, from Manhattan. He's going up against one of the best in the business in the FCS. And defensive end and Baylor transfer, Willie Jefferson, he'll have his hands full. And number 3, MSU needs to put pressure on quarterback Brady Attaway. He's so good and so effective. They need to put him in third and long situations for the MSU defense to be successful. So those are your Billings Hotel and Convention Center keys to the game. The Lumberjacks, the Bobcats, next.
I'm Denance McGee, and this is my dream. I ended up in a place called Bozeman. And in this strange and wonderful place, I learned things, amazing things. From amazing people. And suddenly, I'm in the middle of a game, and I throw this pass, and my receiver leaps up and makes this crazy catch. In my dream, I never